Hello, Abraxas here, and we're going to be playing some Space Engine. But, a little bit of an announcement. This is actually episode 50. So I've done 50 episodes of this, and each episode climbs up from like 30 minutes to an hour long. So that's pretty crazy doing like 50, I'm going to say on average, 40-minute long episodes. That's insane. And this has just been in like the past 2 months, so I just want to say this channel has grown a lot. In fact, yesterday I think I gained like 10 subscribers, if not a little bit more. Yeah, we're sitting at 259. I mean, I uploaded like a week ago my 200 subscriber video, and suddenly I'm up like another 60. It's just insane. This channel's growing so fast. It doesn't seem like it's all that big though, just being my own little corner of YouTube, like only having 200 plus subs. But that's just insane. And all I have to say is thank you guys. So, starting with these suggestions here, let me go ahead and scroll down on my little comments list here. Okay, I'm trying to scroll down to the comment I made yesterday on yesterday's video. Yes. Okay, so one of the suggestions is turn the music down. Okay, one moment. Okay, there we go. Music is turned down. Hopefully you could hear me a lot better now. I didn't think it was all that loud. I did do some audio tests yesterday, and I did watch over like parts of the video and all that, and it didn't really seem like it was too loud, but there goes Steam, so let me go ahead and fix that. Okay, no more interruptions from Steam. Anyways, I do have the first suggestions here, which are actually some suggestions I missed yesterday from Boba Fett and Sizzling Bacon. So we're going to start with Boba Fett, and he wants me to visit a random star, so let's go ahead and get into the game here. Go ahead and get that off the screen. And that's where it all ended yesterday. Let's go ahead and bring up the search menu. Of course, it's not going to copy paste. One moment. There we go. Okay, so he wants me to visit a random star in a random galaxy. Let's go ahead and check this out. I do think this is a random galaxy. Yes, it is. Okay, so it is a white supergiant. What is there to visit here? Oh yeah, he wanted me to visit the star because... Whoops, no. Okay. Yeah, he wanted me to visit the star because it actually has a black hole around it. Let's go ahead and check out the black hole. So we got this little black hole here. It has a mass of 17, while the star has a mass of 38. So these might actually be orbiting around each other. But what's interesting about the black hole is it actually does have some moons orbiting around it. Little dwarf planets, in fact. So let's go ahead and check out some of these and see if we can actually see the black hole from the nearest one. Let's go ahead and touch down on this little Selena here, and where is that black hole? Up there. Yeah, you can see a little bend of light there. You can see like a little tiny curve there. But if I decrease my field of view, it'll be a little bit more visible. Now you can probably see it better. There's a bunch of bent stars. So yeah, you can kind of see the black hole over there. Let's go ahead and zoom in. And there's the black hole as viewed from this planet. Kind of doing some weird stuff. You can see it like twitching and flickering. Very interesting. Is time actually moving? Oh, it is. Yeah, if I pause time, that stops. You can see it kind of twitch as I move the camera. That's just a little bug with the refraction effect, I guess, but very cool. And if I fix my field of view here and zoom out of this planet, you can see it's actually very, very, like, dark because, well, actually, no, that star's not too far away. Very interesting. This is actually a pretty warm planet. It's actually sitting at 468 degrees. And let's check out the orbit map and see how these two are actually orbiting around each other. So I think we still have the black hole selected. Yes, we do. Let's go ahead and bring up the orbit map and see what we could actually see here. Okay, so it looks like we have the star there with what looks like its own little system kind of orbiting around it. Or is it a binary star system? No. It just has a large gas giant there, it looks like. Yes, it has a scorched gas giant, just kind of orbiting kind of in a different plane than the rest of the planets and stuff that are orbiting with the black hole. So that's kind of interesting. Whoops, and if I slow down here, you can see the star. I don't think there's any other objects. Wait, what is this? This is scorched Selena. And yeah, the black hole is sitting right over there. So they are, in fact, orbiting around each other. Very cool. Let's see, the next one Boba Fett wanted me to visit was 23 Sextanus 7 and 3. I do believe these are the same star, so I should be able to find them both in the same system. Okay. I think it would just be 23 Sex in this game. Yes, it is. So let's go ahead and fly over there. I believe I've actually been here before. I don't know if I've actually been here in a video, but I've been here before. So he wants me to visit 7 and 3, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this gas giant right here. Okay, so we have a lot of beautiful rings here. Nice, vibrant, kind of purplish blue, with a little asteroid just kind of orbiting between this little cleared out portion of the ring. Very, very awesome. And if I zoom out here, it has a lot of moons. In fact, that's not showing all the moons, because there's also a lot of asteroids and stuff, so let's do this. Let's lower our star magnitude and increase our planet magnitude, and then turn up the overbright. And now we could possibly see how many moons are just orbiting around this. There you go, there's the orbital patterns. Let's go ahead and remove those. And let's just hit play and watch them all just kind of spiral around this planet. So there's a lot of moons here. You can just see them darting around the planet. Do they go out even further? No, it doesn't appear so. So yeah, there's a lot of moons, and that's not even counting the ones that are kind of in its little inner system here. So they're darting around like crazy. But one thing I just noticed is, I think if I slow this down, no, never mind. I thought I seen one in kind of a orbit, orbiting like a different direction in its plane, but it doesn't look like it. Dang, that would have been awesome. And a very, very unique find. And you can just see a bunch of little asteroids just kind of floating around here. Reset our magnitude. And default the overbright down to, I guess, a value of 1. No, let's turn that up a little bit. Okay, so very cool. Wants me to visit the third planet, which looks like it's actually a heated planet, sitting at 577 degrees. It has a red side back here. And it looks like it has 10 moons. Let's go ahead and pause this. And it is a ice giant. So let's go ahead and bring up the moon list here. And it looks like just a couple selenas, hot selenas in fact. This one's sitting at 164, but it also doesn't have an atmosphere, so that's why it'd be so cool. But let's go ahead and touch down here and just see what this gas giant looks like from the surface. And there it is. You see the kind of like shift in temperature there as it gets warmer on the, or not warmer on the backside, but it is an incredibly hot atmosphere, so it actually has a kind of red glow. Thermal, I believe is what it's called. So, very awesome. You can just see its beautiful little aurora effect right there. So, cool little gas giant. Or actually, warm little gas giant. And, what is this? Is this an asteroid? Oh yes, a hot asteroid. Hello, little hot asteroid. Okay, I am back, and looks like I was looking at an asteroid. I got sidetracked. So yeah, pretty cool gas giant. And let's go ahead and move on to the next planet, which is from Sizzling Bacon, since I missed his request. Okay, so here we go, and it is a frozen gas giant with life. Aerial life. Okay. So it's kind of a very, very, kind of diffused gas giant. Like, I don't know what to call this. A gas giant that doesn't really have much, visible storms, I guess. It's not very contrast, so... yeah, I'd imagine it's still very, very, like, stormy and stuff in there, but it has life on it, so I assume bacterial life in its atmosphere. And over here we have some nice, lovely little compact rings, kind of, I guess, what would you call that? I would say that's kind of a pinkish color there, and this is more of just a, kind of white/tan. And you can see its, lovely little shadows here. This kind of looks like, Saturn, but the rings are completely different, so very interesting. The planet's not even fully shadowing its rings, so that's kind of interesting as well. I assume it probably does in certain portions of its orbit, but Yeah, that's really interesting. But I saw over here, there is what looks like an Oceania. Yes, looks like an Oceania over here. So we got a nice little, kind of purplish Oceania. What is going on there? What is that? What is this? Is that land? It's going above the cloud layer. What? You can see it clipping through the cloud layer here. Let me slow down. What's on here? What? There's land on this Oceania. It's really bugged out land, but there's land. That's super interesting. There's actually like a giant island on this Oceania. There's actually another one, wasn't there? Yeah, there's one kind of over here too. Let me slow down here. Let me just touch down. Might land in the water. No, it's actually water right here. Not seeing land coming out, but let's see if we can go underwater and see how deep this is. So I've hit the land here. And there's the water. But let's go over to somewhere where that does not persist and see how deep that actually gets. So that is considerably a lot deeper. Very interesting. Okay. So this Oceania has land, so does that mean that it's not actually an Oceania? Very odd. If you want to visit this, the ID is up here in the top left corner, but I've never seen this before. It is actually a bugged out Oceania. Look at that, it's textured and everything. Weird. I don't think I have the right gas giant selected, so there we go. This has a tiny ring around it. Is it this one? No, it is this one. So we just have this Oceania, and it looks like a bunch of deserts, Selenos, and ice worlds. So, very cool. Yeah, if you want to visit that, the ID is right there in the top left corner. But, yeah, very interesting bugged out Oceania. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which is from Magda Razvan Nikolai. I believe he's suggested things before, and I believe I've butchered his name probably before, and I probably did just now. But let's go ahead and check it out. Uh-oh, it's not loading. Maybe it's 55 CAN. Is it CAS? No, it's probably C and C. And it is E, so this one right here. The Diamond Planet, as he says. Planet? Yeah, we believe this planet was mostly just carbon, and the tidal forces of like its parent star or something like that, yeah, basically compressed it into a giant diamond core or something like that. Yeah, I think that's what this is. I think that's how that went. So yeah, this is basically a carbon planet. It's basically made of like basically ash, charcoal, like, you know, carbon. Very cool. And that's like what the surface would probably be covered in. And we believe that it has so much compression on it from this parent star next to it that it's actually compressed into basically a giant diamond. So it's very cool. Of course, I could be getting those facts completely butchered. Do not quote me on that, but I do believe that's what that is. I will, if I remember to, link Anton's video of this planet, or a very similar planet, in the description. But, yeah. You can see the clouds. It is tidally locked, it appears. Yeah, it's 1-to-1 over there on the rotational period and the orbital period. And you can see the tidally locked storm, but it's kind of clipping through the surface of the planet. So the storm is not really at a high enough elevation to really cover that side of the planet. But if I hit play, you'll see it like spinning through. Let's go ahead and do that. Whoa. Yeah, you can see it spinning and just kind of clipping through the planet there. And this has a very, very huge aurora just going across a huge portion of the planet there. Very interesting. But yeah, very cool looking planet. And what is going on with that mountain range right there? Okay. It looked almost like it was being cut off, but not. No, wait, is that? Wait, let's pause time real quick. Let's touch down. So we have a kind of unusually hellish atmosphere. Nice, kind of dark red. But where was that mountain range at? Let's zoom out here. And here it is, I believe. Oh yeah, it is kind of cut off a little bit. I don't think it's going to be cut off. Nah, it kind of smooths out, but it's weird. It's just a kind of big stripe. And whoa, the way that kind of just fades into the atmosphere is weird. Look at that. I don't think that's intended to happen. I could be wrong, though. Is that just why the clouds are clipping through the mountains? Or am I kind of in the cloud layer? No, that's just very weird fog. But look at that. That huge star there. That super detailed cloud layer just to add to it. Full view. Let's get up in these mountains a little bit more. There we go. The Diamond Planet. Anyways, yeah, if you guys want to visit it, the ID is, well, actually in your search browser, but if you want to visit it, there is the exact ID. 55 CNCE is what you want to look for in the star browser thing. Star browser? Search. Search function. And from back here, you can actually see the entire storm. Very cool. But if I get closer, it just disappears. Very awesome planet. The next one that we are going to visit is from Ian07, and he wants me to visit something in a random star, so let's go ahead and check that out. Ooh, got a question mark in there. Uh-oh, it's not loading. Let's try to remove the B3 and see what happens. Yep, Ian, this one's not loading, sadly, so I'm going to have to skip over it, I guess. Guess you probably mistyped it. Okay, well, I guess we're gonna have to skip over to this suggestion, so let's go over to Andromedas, which he has 4 of them, so let's go ahead and check them out. And are they going to be in planetary collisions? Or not planetary collisions, galactic collisions. I think it would be cool to see a planetary collision in this game, though. And it is a cool desert. No life. Whoa. Wait. Oh, I'm on the desert. Should put me on it. Okay. I've never really had that happen before. Okay, so we have a beautiful detailed cloud layer. And the atmospheric pressure on this planet is 0.37 atmospheres, but it looks like it has a pretty thick cloud layer. In fact, it actually has 2 cloud layers. Really nicely detailed ones, though. I imagine... No, wait. I think... Oh, there's 3 cloud layers. Very cool. Let's go ahead and go over to the dark side of the planet. We might get a really, really cool looking sunset. Wherever the dark side of the planet might be. I assume if we keep going this direction, we'll eventually find it. Ah, yes, here we go. And now we're slowly reaching where the sun is actually setting on this planet. Maybe this way? Ah, here we go. Okay, so now we're in the sunset region. We just have all these lovely clouds just kind of sitting up in the atmosphere. Let's go ahead and slow down here. And check out that lovely sunset against that really, really shiny rock, I guess? Wonder why that's so shiny. But nonetheless, that looks very cool. In as the sun just kind of rises a little bit more, and then as it goes down, it has like a nice kind of orange hue until it fully sets. Very awesome. And the real question is, it's from Andromeda. Are we in a galactic collision? Ooh, no, it appears we are in some kind of spiral galaxy. Very cool. Oh, it's actually half frozen too. Let's go ahead and touch down where it's actually like frozen. That explains why it's so shiny. Okay. Because I'm looking at a snow layer. And look at that. It's just a huge mountain peak before it just kind of drops off into like some rough terrain and then drops off to its kind of desert terrain. Very cool. And look at that aurora. Really lovely view. Kind of a very unusually generated terrain, though. That was pretty typical of these snow caps. And we still have a nice view of that lovely detailed cloud layer even from here. Let's go ahead and watch the storm just kind of spin around and get a nice look of all these like cloud layers kind of moving around each other. Let's rotate with the planet. Oh, look at that. You can see a little comet just passing by. Let me go ahead and slow down time a little bit. Look at that. There's a comet just passing by in the background. Very cool. There it is, just shooting across the sky. And it's gone. And that flickering aurora. Very awesome planet. Okay, so let's visit the next one from Andromeda. And this is a very cool tidally locked world. It has like a nice kind of pink sunset. Or just pink atmosphere. It looks like kind of like a, I don't know, postcard level, kind of like pink sunset with like the orange clouds and stuff. Let's go ahead and load up this next ID. And it is a temperate desert. Okay, looks like we are in some kind of possibly irregular galaxy. Yes, that is what. And our desert is kind of a rusty color, and look at that. We caught it just in time for a little bit of an eclipse from that little asteroid there. Is that an asteroid or a Selena? Asteroid. Let's go ahead and touch down next to this little eclipse right here. Right into the sunset of this planet. Ooh, and that's some beautiful colors going on here. And you can just see that shadow being casted across the sky. That's a very cool effect, and I feel like the irregular galaxy just kind of mixed into the background there. Kind of looks like a nebula, I would say. But let's go ahead and fly into this eclipse. And you see the asteroid actually block out the star as we fade in. Ooh, and everything just kind of has like a reddish glow around here. And you can see the trail of the eclipse behind us as it just gets darker and fades off into the sunset. Very awesome view. And as we fly out, the atmosphere should slowly fade into its true color, which is kind of a yellowish red, I would say. Very cool. And we just have very rough and rocky terrain. This is actually kind of nicely dispersed terrain rather than just a huge patch of mountains. It's actually pretty well spread out around the planet. The planet itself I don't think is too big. The diameter is 6,000 kilometers, so about half of that of Earth. And it looks like we might actually have some clouds over here. That or that might just be a salt lake. Oh yeah, that's some other kind of texture it looks like. Let's go ahead and slow down as we get closer here. And yeah, we have like the kind of winded sand texture on top of like the cracked muddy texture. So as we fly through, the atmosphere almost has kind of a purple color to it. The fog itself is orange, but as you look into the back, it's like kind of a purple and fades off into a very dark blue. But if I look up in the sky, it looks like, yes, we can actually see a lot of the stars and stuff. And you can see these sedimentary rocks just kind of taking over this hill, and the cracked mud texture actually being the kind of dirt texture of the hill. Where the hill is not so steep. So very cool, and as we fly through, we can just see this beautiful galaxy in the background. And there's our parent star. Very cool little desert world. And I think the eclipse just added to it, being able to get in here during the eclipse. And what is up with this dark patch here? Let's go and slow down and check this out. Looks like we might have something going on here. Oh, it's kind of a crater, I think. No, it's actually more of a salt lake, actually. Yeah, this looks like a lake bed, so potentially there was water on this planet at some time. This actually looks like kind of a desert, like maybe an Arizona desert or something like that. Very cool. Oh, and there's a volcano. And is it actually active? No, it doesn't appear to be. Very cool world. And if you want to visit it, the ID is, as always, up here in the top left. Let's go ahead and check out the next planet from Andromeda. Oh, look at this. This is very cool. It is a temperate Terra with a very tall ice patch at the pole here and a crater indent, as you can see right there. But, there's something very interesting going on here, because there's no life on this planet. It actually just has what looks like either a green atmosphere. Actually, it might just be a green atmosphere with green water. Let's go ahead and touch down right here and check it out. Oh yes, it looks like we actually have... Oh no, it is a blue ocean. Okay, I thought it would actually be green water, but no, it's actually blue. It's just that atmosphere really makes it look green from a distance. If you've ever looked at a lake or something, like a man-made lake, from a distance, you can see our atmosphere makes the water look very blue, but once you actually get up near it, the water's all murky and kind of nasty, kind of a greenish color, because man-made lakes don't really, they're not made of, like, the freshest water, because it's kind of stagnant. It's not actually just straight snow melt like you would see on a mountaintop or anything like that. So yeah, some lakes have, like, really green, murky water and stuff, but from a distance, it would look nice and blue. That's because of our atmosphere. That's kind of the effect that's going on here, but a lot more dramatically. And you can just see this lovely shine here. Also, you're seeing also the reflection of the sky, not just the atmosphere, but the atmosphere has a big play in that. And it looks like we actually have 2 cloud layers. Yes, 2 cloud layers. And it looks like all these hills are just kind of peeking up over the actual altitude of the cloud layers. Very cool. And this is a pole, so it should actually be fairly rounded as we go around here. Yeah, it actually does kind of rotate into a circle. And I do not believe this is a tidally locked planet, but it is actually rotating fairly slowly. It only orbits 3 times per actual, or it only rotates 3 times per orbit. And as you can see, there is actually some snow caps here, sitting above the cloud layer, it looks like. It certainly is, and the snow is actually partially eroded. Very cool. Look at these beautiful clouds just going across the landscape. Ooh, we got a couple of cyclones over there. And you can see the clouds almost appear like they're just going a completely different direction on the southern planet, kind of like our Earth. Very awesome. And there's just a lot of snowfields and stuff. This planet is sitting at an atmospheric pressure of 2.01 and has a temperature of negative 14 degrees. So it's actually a really cool planet. And what is this? Is this clouds? Yeah, that's what that looks like. Yeah, it's just a little cloud layer. And you can see this lake just kind of dips into here a lot. Like, there's a huge kind of lake here. I wonder if this is actually a scar from a crater. Possibly. Very cool looking world. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Actually, is there any moons? No, it doesn't appear so. Yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next world from Andromeda. And one thing I'm noticing about all these planets I've visited from Andromeda is they're all the 4th planet from the stars. Ooh, what galaxy are we in? Is this Milky Way? What's this? Random nebula. It is the Milky Way. And the game crashed. Okay, I'm back. And I guess while I load in, I would like to mention that I am kind of going over and revisiting a few of my Universe Sandbox 2 videos. So I do expect a couple uploads today. Basically, I want to see how they behave in version Alpha 19. And there's a few things I just want to kind of revisit on them. Okay, so this is the final planet from Andromeda for today. What's going on here? The shadows of the rings look really, really cool on this planet. It almost looks like they're illuminating it, but no. This is the shadow and this is the actual lit up part, but that's very cool looking. The planet itself is really, really detailed. As I fly in, you'll be able to see what I mean. As you get closer and closer, it just gets more and more detailed, and you can just see this really, really bumpy kind of atmosphere. Very cool, and it looks like we have a binary star system. Oh, no, wait, that is not a normal star. That is a white dwarf. Very, very bright accretion disk. You can only really see the edges of the accretion disk. The rest of it is super bright. Go ahead and fix the field of view here. And yeah, very, very bright white dwarf. Very cool. Let's go ahead and go back to that gas giant, which I think was this one. It certainly was. Now, is there any interesting moons kind of orbiting around this? No, it just looks like a Selena. Let's go ahead and touch down on the Selena. And just see what this gas giant looks like from its sky. Okay, so you can see the light being kind of bumped off from the stars there. See that color shift as we block out one of the stars? Just a little flicker there. Very cool. And we have this huge gas giant just kind of sitting in the night sky. Very cool. Now, one thing I am curious about is what other planets are actually orbiting in this system. Let's go ahead and get back here. I saw this, a hot desert. Oh wow, look at that. The thermal shift makes this incredibly bright. It is actually tidally locked, so this is all one giant storm right here. But since it is a binary system, is this actually going to misalign the storm? Whoa, that's weird. Shining on it now, possibly? Not sure. It doesn't appear the storm wants to rotate at all. There we go. Fix that. Huh, this is planet even spinning? There it goes. The storm is basically orbiting with the planet. And the planet's actually orbiting very, very quickly around these, too. You can just see it flicker as the different things just kind of shine on it. I think that might actually be caused by this accretion disk actually like spinning around. If I go over to this white dwarf as it spins. Ah yes, it's the bigger star just blocking out the light from the white dwarf, it looks like. Did you see that? It's kind of a strobing effect. As this star orbits around, it looks like these are kind of just skipping across the sky, but they're actually not. See if we can see that again. Can you see that little gas giant over there? That's awesome. Let's go ahead and zoom out here before I give someone a seizure or something. And let's go ahead and... Can I not? Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and check out the next suggestion, which is from... Derp Sauce Gaming. Here we go. He says it is because it is near the Eskimo Nebula. Did I visit the Eskimo Nebula? I believe I did. I think that might have been in my Nebula video, but I could be wrong about that. Let's go ahead and check it out. And right here in the same galaxy, and let's pause the game and try to find that. Okay, there it is. Okay, so we have an interesting looking temperate desert. It does not have life on it, even though it kind of looks like it does from the outside. But I think that's just because it might have a very green atmosphere. And yeah, that's what that is. Kind of a forest green mixed in with like a kind of yellowish tan right here. You can just see the band from the Milky Way galaxy there. In fact, I think that is the center of the Milky Way. It certainly is. Let's go ahead and zoom out and reselect this. And let's just touch down on the planet right here. Okay, so immediately we kind of have a sand texture with a bunch of cracks, it looks like, just running through it. Very interesting. With some actually kind of nicely eroded hills. We got a very, very beautiful detailed cloud layer up there in the sky. And let's see what the sunset looks like on this green planet. I imagine it might be pink. Let's find out. Oh no, that's actually very, very orange, isn't it? Kind of faded off in a slightly hot pink there. It's a little bit pink. You can see a bunch of bright planets in the sky here. Very, very cool. It actually looks like it has multiple cloud layers. Here's a volcano over here, it looks like. And it is non-active. Very interesting. It's a lot brighter than this band over here. And let's just go and touch down over here and see what we can find. So it looks like we have kind of the cracked, dried up mud texture mixed in with some rocks, it looks like. And then over here, I don't know what this is. Huh. Whoops, that's not what I intended to do. Oh, looks like I lost that texture, but here's more of it right here. That looks like possibly a riverbed or something? I don't know what that is. What is this texture? It's the back of a giraffe's neck, I think. Not sure. But really cool looking planet. Let's see the clouds move around. Since it is a kind of a two-layered cloud system, they should just pass by each other. Rotate with object. You can see those clouds just fly across the sky. And here comes the night sky, and there's a huge cyclone right there. It's kind of interesting to think that cyclones do happen on these kind of desert worlds, especially since the atmosphere is mostly comprised of carbon dioxide. That's very interesting. So, where is this nebula at? Ah, there it is. A very cool looking nebula. And that is the Eskimo Nebula. I don't know if I actually visited that in that video. I don't think I've seen this one before. I might have. But, okay, let's stop rotating with this object. Let's go ahead and fly towards that. And there's a huge comet there. So we're going to be flying through that, it looks like. And there's a huge comet tail. And let's get over to this nebula. Which I'm still orbiting around that system. So this is the Eskimo Nebula, or the Clown Face Nebula. This looks like what happens when you have a Wolf Riot star, almost. Let's go ahead and see if there's actually a star or black hole in the center of this. It is a planetary nebula. This is a star that looks like it's lost its shell or something. But I actually don't see a star in the center of this. Or any stars, for that matter. It's only a 1 light year radius, the diameter of this nebula, so... odds of actually finding a star in here is actually pretty slim. I think it would be cool to actually kind of find a star in here and actually check out what it looks like from the inside. From, like, the surface of a planet or something, but it looks like we're just not that lucky today. Maybe if I turn up the magnitude, I might be able to see something. It doesn't appear so. Well, that's unfortunate. let's go ahead and check out the next one from Derp Gaming, which he says is also near a nebula. Dual planetary system in a galactic collision next to a nebula? Possibly. And it's gotta have life. A nebula with life. Okay, let's go. Okay, so nice pink nebula. Is this actually a nebula we know about, or is it a random one? Let's go ahead and zoom out here. And that is NGC 2440. Let's go ahead and zoom back into this planet real quick. And it is a cold ice world. Let's go ahead and slow down time here. And it looks like it kind of has also a slightly green atmosphere, but super thin. Sitting at 3% atmospheric pressure. It is an ice world, so we have these huge cracks going through the terrain here. And let's touch down right over here. So yeah, we kind of have a greenish, tealish color here. Very cool, and you can see the planet just zoom right past us. And there's the parent star. Let's see if we can get a nice view of the nebula on this planet. Ah yes, there it is. Right here in the sunset area. Let's go ahead and pause the game. And touch down right next to this little bright spot here, where the sun is just ever so slightly shining. That's a really nice view of the nebula, and you can kind of see on the horizon there, the atmosphere of this planet. Very, very thin. It just fades off to a green over there. I don't think this planet has an active core, so yeah, it doesn't have any aurora. Actually, it does, right there. Very cool. Oh, look at that. It's kind of, the tip of the aurora is kind of like a pinkish color. And there's that huge nebula in the sky, right next to this aurora. Very cool. Let's go ahead and land right here in this crater. Beautiful view. So the next one, again, is from Derp Gaming, and he says it is near the Helix Nebula, which I know for a fact I've actually visited. And he says it is a nice-looking Selena. I imagine it's going to look a lot like a Selena. Yeah, it does. That's quite Selena-like. It's got these disco craters, though, so, I mean, I'll give it that. It's trying to stand out from the other Selenas. So there's our parent star. It looks like it is possibly an orange dwarf? Red dwarf. Ooh, close call. But let's touch down right here, right in the sunset, so we can see the Helix Nebula, which looks like a huge spiral. Actually, no. It kind of looked like a spiral for a second there. And we got these weird cracks going through the terrain here. And there it is. We have no atmosphere, so we're not going to really see much on the horizon. We're basically just going to see sunlight. And there is our Milky Way galaxy, and there's the Helix Nebula. It's the Helix Nebula, right? Yes, it certainly is. Huge planetary nebula, so it's just a star that's lost its shell. It's not quite a supernova. And is this actually a round shape, or is it kind of a disc? Kind of more of a disc, but it is pretty round. I don't see any stars in the center, no white dwarfs or anything interesting like that. I would think that if there's going to be planetary nebulas, there should be like a white dwarf at least sitting in the center of these. But I guess not. Okay, so AAV has clarified for me that giant stars equal novas. This is basically a nova. Supergiants make supernovas, and hypergiants make hypernovas. So, I guess that's just something to think about. The planet I visited yesterday, I do think was a hypergiant? Might have been a supergiant. Or did I say planet? I meant star. The huge, bulgy meatball star, those things. Yeah, those are basically going to go either supernova or hypernova. And if you don't know what a hypernova is, think of basically a supernova with two gas plumes. And basically it's going to make a black hole. It's going to probably condense into a black hole and have huge gamma rays shooting out. And that's basically a hypernova. While a supernova actually looks kind of more like this, but much, much bigger, and it's going to last much, much longer. So that's basically the different kind of novas and stuff out there. So yeah, think a lot of gamma radiation. It might be a neutron star, but it might turn into a pulsar and have gamma radiation, but I think that would be more created from possibly a supernova. I could be incorrect about that. But I would imagine something of that mass would probably collapse into a black hole during its destruction. The next suggestion is from AAV, and let's go ahead and check it out. Okay, so I got the copy paste. Let's go ahead and take a visit over here. What the hell is this? Oh, I'm in a black hole. Okay, I see the accretion disk bending around. Okay. So, we have a white main sequence star clipping into a black hole, it looks like. Oh yeah, that's exactly what that is. Okay. Is this a galactic center? It is. Okay. Whoa, that is trippy. Is the game supposed to generate things like this? That is weird. So what you're telling me is the, Well, it is a central supermassive black hole, so you could actually get closer to the event horizon without basically being torn apart or spaghettified, so that's probably what's going on here. Unlike a smaller black hole like you would find orbiting around a star in this game, if you got anywhere near that, you would essentially be torn apart. But something like a supermassive black hole, you can actually fall into for quite a ways, until basically you start seeing this lensing effect. And then eventually, as you fall in further and further and further, you'll basically be torn apart. If your feet were facing down, your feet would be torn faster than, let's say, from your head, because the gravity of your feet would be basically that more than, let's say, the top of your head. So you'd basically just be stretched out until you probably have a pretty painful and pretty quick death. And that is essentially what happens with a black hole. But I see something else also orbiting here. What is this? What is this little blue thing? Is that another star? Oh, it's a little white dwarf. Hello, white dwarf. You also have a little tiny accretion disk. That is a crazy view. Really awesome find. So, it looks like we have one more suggestion, and that is from Quinn Alexander. And he says it is a Terra with an ESI of 90%, and it's inside of the California Nebula. And here we go. Okay, so this is the California Nebula, which I do believe I've been to and clicked on a few times. So this has an ESI of 90%. What am I looking at, though? What is the shiny parts there? Is that water? Yeah, I think that's water. Oh yeah, it looks like we just went underwater. Very interesting. Kind of a nice green ocean, it looks like. Certainly. And this has an ESI of 90%. No continents that I can see. Oh, there's a couple. They're pretty small. And we have a huge crater that's trying to punch its way through the planet. And you checked it out some land, and you kind of have like a little ring around the crater there, and a bunch of volcanoes sitting in the ocean. Oh, and there's a pretty big continent. Okay, so we do have some continents going on here. And we do have life. Let's see what our little life texture is for this planet. Some rounded, eroded hills here. And I think I saw the treetop texture. Let me get somewhere a little bit more lit up, though, so we can see a little bit better. Like right here. It looks like sand, mostly. It does have terrestrial life, so I'm not making that mistake again. There possibly life over here. I can't really see the life texture. It's just not bright enough. Let's try turning up the ambient lighting. Okay, so now it looks like kind of unshaded, but let's check it out. So I'm not seeing any life, possibly in these dark regions, like over here. This purple part, is that life? That looks like life. Okay, so our life is actually kind of a bluish purple on this planet. And you can see these two stars here. Now I imagine since we're orbiting this close and we're only at 29 degrees, these are both red dwarfs. Yeah, so it looks like a couple of red dwarfs. Yeah, that's a red dwarf as well. And we have these beautiful kind of grayish white rings, and look at that. In the dark side of the planet there, you can see there's a bunch of purple life. The green is not the life on this planet, that's actually the ocean. It's just very trippy looking with the ambient lighting turned up and looking at the back side of the planet. And you can see a massive crater, it looks like right there, possibly. No, that's actually land, isn't it? Maybe. No, that's a crater. That's right, the life is blue. Keep thinking the blue is the ocean, but no, it's actually kind of inverted what you would actually expect. Very interesting looking. Tons of craters, though. The atmospheric pressure is only 11% of that of Earth, so asteroids don't really burn up in the atmosphere. The meteors actually basically have no problem just getting right through and just colliding straight into the planet and making these huge craters. Kind of like our moon. And as you can tell, there is a lot of volcanic activity if you look at the oceans here. And you can just see that thin shadow from the ring. Let's go ahead and slow down here and check out what the sunset looks like on a world like this. Let's go ahead and reset our ambient lighting. Oh, that's what was lighting up the rings. Sunset. Possibly, or am I just orbiting on the... No. Should be able to see the sunset pretty soon here. Ah, yes, it kind of keeps a consistent color there, it looks like. If I fly into the atmosphere. It kind of just has a bluish color. And as we orbit around and the sun rises, it kind of fades off into like kind of an orangish effect, it looks like. And there's our star. So not really much of a difference in the atmosphere when it comes to the sunset. But we do have this lovely view of the nebula here. And the center of the galaxy over there. Very cool. Anyways, that was our last suggestion for the episode. If you guys liked the video, please leave it a like. And if you want to see more videos like this, please do subscribe. It really does help. And I will see you guys in the next one. And that's Barnard's Loop. What? Where's Barnard's Loop? I probably clicked on it through the nebula. Very odd.